wrong, what? Will go wrong. Your failure to plan does not constitute an emergency on my part. And the last one, we are the product of the choices we make. Now, why did I put those three things up today? Nobody's gonna.
Because no one took the test.
Yes. So let's talk about the test. Okay. I give you 4 days to take the test. Let's say that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Now, the way that you should do the test, this is the way you should do it. You should go on there maybe the first day and take the test. Boom, just take it. Maybe you make a 72. Okay? Then you spend the weekend studying what you missed. Then you take it again and make 88. And then you say, well, I really want to make an A. So you take it again on Monday and make a 92. Is this what everybody did? Oh, hell no. Okay. We got about 10 people that waits until what? Monday, and they decide to take all 3 tests on Monday. But guess what? Power goes out, the laptop falls apart, the dog ate the charger, and then, oh my gosh, it's a what? It's an emergency. No, it's not. Why is it an emergency? Somebody tell me why you not being able to do all 3 tests on Monday night at 10 o'clock, why that's not an emergency.
Should have done them before Monday.
Because you, what? You chose to take 3 tests at 10 p.m. Monday night. Now, let me go ahead and say this because Ms. Hightower, she had problems, and Ms. Hightower, you're excused. I'm not fussing at you, okay? All right? Let me use Ms. Hightower for an excuse. She was having problems. She sent me an email. I gaffed off her email because I thought the test was due last night or the night before. So I gaffed it off. She calls me and says, I didn't take the test. The test is due tonight. Oh, okay, I'll fix it. And I wrote her an apologetic email saying that I would extend her test if needed because I thought the test was due the night before and she was, goofing off or whatever. But I was wrong, and I told her that I was wrong. And hopefully, Miss Hightower, did you get it taken care of? Everything good?
I did both the tests, and when I started on the second test, I had 3 questions left, and it locked me out because I refreshed my page. And then I couldn't get into any homeworks, quizzes, or anything until that test was complete.
And I fixed it for you, and then how did everything work after that?
I got a 91 and an 89.
Good. Okay. Well, that was Miss Hightower. She followed up and she communicated, and but she didn't wait till 10 o'clock on Monday night to address the problem. Okay, I just wanted her to know since she was one of the ones that called me, and she's not one that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ones that decided, oh, it's 10 o'clock. I need to take all 3 of my tests. Now let me ask y'all a question. do I need to jump over hoops and jump over all kinds of stuff to extend your time when you chose to do all 3 tests at 10 o'clock on Monday night?
No.
Thank you. Okay, so again, I want to show you what right there, your failure to plan does not constitute an emergency on my part. Now, if you want to argue your point at the end of class, if there's somebody in here, I don't know. I know there was about 5 people, 6 maybe, not talking about Miss Hightower, but about 6 people that just sent me all kinds of emails about emergency this, emergency that. Well, where was the emergency Friday afternoon? Where was the emergency Saturday afternoon? Where was the emergency Sunday afternoon? Why did you wait until Monday? Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
My mama heard you say Miss Hightower. She came downstairs. She said, "Is he fussing at you?" I said, "No, he's excluding me."
No, I'm excluding you. Yeah, Miss Hightower. Yes, she's okay. She got down on it. She said, "By God, I'm gonna call him." And she called me, and she said, "You better fix these tests." No, she was telling me what was going on, and I had it all wrong. I thought the test was due the night before. So anyway, Miss Hightower, good job. All right. So I'm through bitching. I'm gonna get this off here, and let's get started. All right. Now we're gonna start, and hopefully you did look at. Hopefully you did look at the videos and what was in the videos, and I'm just going to go over the hot spots, and then we're going to continue on. All right. First of all, I did show y'all that what we were doing with the derivative, and I did show you a little bit of that in 3.1, excuse me, 3.2. Now they are making a transition, I would say somewhere in 3.1 to 3.3. They're making the transition from algebra / limit difference quotient to somewhere in 3.3 calculus derivative. And that's what we're going to work on today. But I'm not going to go into details because you should have watched the videos. Okay, I'm going to kind of compare the two. And yes, these are test questions that I'm going to be doing because they want you to make this transition from the algebra limit difference quotient to doing a couple of problems like that on the test to actually using the power rule. The power rule is the first rule of derivatives that we learn. It's the first one, and you're talking about 5 questions on the test. I mean, very important that you understand the power rule of calculus. Now, some of you have had pre-calculus, and you've already seen the derivative, and that's good. And some of you have taken calculus before and had a less than 2 teacher, and it wasn't a good experience, and you're taking it again. So we're going to be working on this today. So let's start with f of x is equal to x squared. All right, a good old parabola, and we know that it looks like this. And we know that this is like -9 to +9. I'm sorry, 3, -3, +3, and that's like 9 here and here. Okay, so everybody knows. So what I want you to do is I want everybody to do the difference quotient with the limit theory, difference quotient slash limit with x squared. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to put m is equal to, and y'all go ahead and be doing it, f of x plus h minus f of x over h. And limit as h approaches 0. So that's going to be a bracket, and then a big set of parentheses squared minus x squared over h, and plug in x plus h, and everybody should be doing this, and that's going to give us x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus x squared all over h, and the red pen comes out and the x squareds cancel, and 2 got h, 2x plus h divided by h, and the h's cancel, and now we bring the limit in. We'll do the limit in a blue color. Limit as h approaches 0 of 2x plus h. And what happens to the h when your limit of h is equal to 0?
It becomes 0.
It becomes 0, so your final answer is 2x. And that 2x, let me do a little bit of arrows here. That goes there, that goes there, and this goes here. Okay? And that 2x is the equation for the slope of the tangent line at any point. At any point. Now this is very important that you know what you just found. And you're going to see it written. Oh, we'll get to that in just a minute. So what does that mean? Well, that means that we're going to take a point. Let's use this orange. This is really not orange. This is more of a tangerine, but we're going to put a point right here. And I'm going to draw a tangent line. And we're going to say that point is at -2.
You have a work email.
And then we're going to draw another point, and we're going to color it I got to bust open another box of purple. And we're going to put that right here. Well, I don't like to use these dark colors because they look like black to y'all. Okay, and that's at 1. So what is the slope at -2? Well, f prime of -2 is equal to 2 times -2, which is -4. So the slope of this m is equal to -4 over 1. So what about the purple slope? Well, f of 1 is, f prime of 1 is equal to 2 times 1. So the slope of this line is 2 over 1. And you can do that on any point on that parabola with f prime of x equals 2x. Now, what if they say, give me the equation for that purple line? So let's go to the next page, because this is a homework / test question. Okay, everybody, I'm going to give everybody a couple of seconds to get that in. So, Miss Hightower, your mama being protective, huh?
No, she's just nosy.
Oh, she just nosy. Okay.
When I called you yesterday, I guess my volume was loud enough for her to hear. She goes, he thought the test was due yesterday. I was like, yeah. Oh. Well, was it fixed now? Mama, I got it.
She's not a helicopter or a bulldozer. Which one is she?
She's a hybrid.
She's a kind of a helidozer. She's a helidozer.
Yes.
Dang old, tell you what, dang old helidozer parent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a 5 o'clock somewhere parent.
That's my dad, but
I let my ex-wife stress over all that stuff.
she stresses over everything. It don't matter what it is. It does not. I'd be like, "Ooh, I have an assignment due today. Did you get it done? Are you halfway through it?" Like, Mama, I got it.
Yep, that's my ex-wife. She's the one that stresses. All right, so I want y'all to find an equation. This is part 2. Find an equation of the orange line at, well, we said x is equal to -2. Now, we've already done part of the problem for you. Okay, we found the slope. Now you just got to find a point, so you can use the point-slope equation. And over here, we're going to find the equation of the purple line at x is equal to 1. And we've already done that because we got m is equal to 2 on that one. And here we got m is equal to -4. Now see, what happens is you're so wrapped up in doing the difference quotient and finding the slope that you forget how to get your y on your xy coordinate. How do we get our xy coordinate? We got x. What do we do with x?
Just plug it in.
Plug it into the what?
To the original equation.
Exactly. So this is how we get our f of x, f of -2, sorry, is equal to -2 raised to the second power, which is equal to 4. So our point is -2, 4. And our slope is equal to -4. So now we use y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. All right, finish this one and do this one. And this is a test question, and it's a homework question because people forget how to get that 4 right there. They don't know what to do. All right, so the orange line, y, this is x sub 1, this is y sub 1. So y minus parentheses equals parentheses times x minus parentheses. And that's going to be a 4. And that's going to be a negative 2. And that's going to be a negative 4. And y minus 4 is equal, that's going to be an x plus, and negative 4x minus 8. And bring that 4 across the river. Y is equal to negative 4x minus 4. And that is the equation for the tangent line on the left-hand side. F of 1 is equal to 1 squared, which is 1. Therefore, our point is 1, comma 1, which is x sub 1 and y sub 1. And y minus parentheses equals parentheses times x minus parentheses. And y sub 1 is 1, 2, and 1. Y minus 1 is equal to 2x minus 2. Bring the 1 across the river. And y is equal to 2x minus 1. And that is the equation of the slope on the right-hand side. So the slope of the orange line is negative 4x minus 4. The slope of the purple line is 2x minus 1. Is that important? Yes. These are 2 test questions right here. So make sure you can do that. Now, are we using any calculus yet? Not really, because the actual using the algebra and the limit theory technically is calculus, but we haven't done the calculus, and I'm fixing to show you that right now. Now, first of all, I want to go back to pre-algebra with y'all, and I want y'all to remember that whenever we have a term in algebra, a term consists of 2 things: a coefficient and a what? a variable. Even though you don't see both of them sometimes, they are there. I can have 1 x to the second power. That's x squared. I can have 2 times x to the 0 power. That's 2. I can have negative 4 x to the first power. Does everybody understand that when you think you just have an x, you actually have a coefficient right there? Does everybody understand that? And does everybody understand that if you have a 2 right here, you have an x to the 0 beside it? Does everybody understand that? Okay? All right. The rest of them are pretty self-explanatory because the negative 4 is right there and the x to the first is right there. But these two right here, you got to be careful because sometimes somebody will say, oh, there's a 0 right there. No, it's not a 0, it's a 1. And there's a 1 right here. No, it's a 0 because x to the 0 power is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. So you got to remember this little part of pre-algebra here, okay? All terms are made up of a coefficient and a variable. And that term may not show one of them, but it's there. Now, with that being said, the power rule of calculus, the derivative power rule of calculus is ... A, let's just go f of x is equal x to the a. That's an a, not a 9. F prime of x is equal x to the a. I'm sorry, that a comes out front minus 1. That's going to be a times x to the a minus 1. That's called the power rule. So let's do one that's real simple. F of x is equal to x squared. We just did that. I'm going to bring the 2 out front, and I'm going to minus 1. So I'm going to get 2x to the 2 minus 1. And that is the derivative. Well, wait a minute, Hubert. You're kidding. You mean to tell me that all of that stuff that you did right here, all of this, and you got 2x, all you had to do was that? That's the difference between algebra and the limit theory and calculus. Algebra, limit theory, calculus power rule. Now, y'all don't screw this up. What do y'all mess up? Well, anything with a fraction, of course, because y'all can't read a ruler. Anything with a decimal, because you use your calculator. Anything with a radical, because it causes you to think. Those are the problems that students have. So what do you do about it? You rewrite. 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 When you see something that's confusing, you rewrite it. What do you mean, Hubert? Well, f of x is equal to the square root of x. Well, I'll tell you right now, radicals and calculus don't mix. I'm going to write that in red. And I'm going to say that throughout the semester. Radicals and calculus Don't mix. Anybody in here got a TI-89? A TI-89 doesn't even have a radical on it. Why? Because in calculus, the radical don't exist. You change it to a fractional exponent. Capiche? So you're going to rewrite this as, because this is to the first power and that's to the second exponent over index. So you're going to rewrite that as f of x is equal to x to the what? And now you've got a radical, I mean a rational exponent. And now you're going to do the same thing that you learned right here. So I'm going to bring that out front. F of x, f prime of x, and that is the designation for the derivative. F prime of x, f prime of x, f prime of x. F prime of x is equal to 1/2 x to the 1/2 minus 1. Oh my gosh. Well, y'all ain't going to be able to do that, so we got to quit.
-1/2.
Good job. Equals 1/2 x to the -1/2. Now, I'm not going to explain how I got that to a calculus student. So, if you want to stick around after class, I'll show you if you have to, okay? All right, so there's your answer. Now, can you write that, differently since the x to the 1? Yes, you can bring that x downstairs. I'm not worried about that right now. I'm worried about you understanding how to bring the a out here, and that's going to be a, and then a minus 1. It's always that. All right, let's do nerd. All right, right now, there's about 5 different questions that I can give you to kind of mess you up on this problem, okay? There's 2 of them. This is a normal. This is challenge number 1 because it's a fraction. Everybody with me? All right, now let's do this one. F of x is equal to 1 over x to the 5th. And of course, what do you do? What do you do? Come on, go ahead, be honest.
We give up and live in a ditch.
There you go. Good job. You couldn't have said it any better. No, you don't. You what? Rewrite. How can I rewrite this? Somebody tell me. Remember your exponential rules. What can I rewrite this
You
as?
put the x to the 5th up top and change
Good
the
job.
exponent to negative.
X to the what?
-5th.
There you go. Now do it. Now, if you still can't do it, then we're going to get you a ditch to go with that box. A lot of people say, where'd you get that? That's what I told my daughter when she came home from school and she didn't want to do homework. I said, well, good. That's fine. Just live in a box in a ditch. And she got so mad. That's where I got that from. And then she'd come home mad and I'd say, just quit. But Daddy, I can't quit the 6th grade. All right, then do the work. All right, so what do we do? That -5 comes out. F prime of x is equal to -5 x to the -5 minus 1. Oh, we got another way to screw this up, don't we? F prime of x is equal to -5 x to the what? -6, not -4. And you can bring that back downstairs, or -5 over x to the 6th. So there's another test question that, so there's 3 test questions. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 test questions that I could give you out of 5 point or 3.3 or whatever. Now, I'm going to jump off of this for a minute, and I want to show you the different ways to write derivative, okay? Because I'm going to be honest with you, this really made me mad when I figured this out. I had a calculus teacher, of course, at Tri-County that was absolutely terrible, and ended up taking it at Clemson because Tri-County's teachers that were teaching it was terrible. And I finally figured out that the derivative can be written as f prime of x when you're given f of x, y prime if you're given y, and then you could also write it dy dx if you're given y, so those are the 3 ways that you can write derivatives, okay? And I'm going to be honest with you, I usually do these because I have found through all my years of teaching and being a student that if I want to confuse a student, I revert to this. And that's not the way I do things. So I'm going to use these 2, okay? Now, if you want to impress somebody at a local bar, then you can do that. And in fact, if you want to really impress them, then you write it like this. dy dx. And then you can impress them and make like you're from Goodwill Hunting, okay? Like the professor on there, the arrogant professor, perverted professor, okay? Y'all ever seen Goodwill Hunting? Oh,
Nope.
It's a good movie. Oh my God. That is such a good movie, and y'all have never seen it?
I've seen
It's
it.
your parents' fault.
That really impressive D on the top looks like a nose.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's basically a form of delta,
It looked like a nose.
lowercase delta. But it's impress your friends whenever you go out. You can, the D is the same thing. All right. So that's the different ways to write derivatives. All right, so let's go back to the original type problem. F of x is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 4. And I want you to do it with the difference quotient and limit. And then I want you to do it with derivative, doing each one, because this is called, and I'll get to that in just a minute. But when you've got plus and negative, you can treat each one of them as separate and take the derivative of this guy, take the derivative of this guy, take the derivative of this guy. All right, and remember this is x to the first, and this is what? X to the 0 when you're taking the derivative. Because when you do that, you're going to see something that happens with this guy. And then that's another rule that we're going to talk about. So on this side, I want you to do difference quotient plus limit. H goes to 0. And on this side, I want you to do the power rule. Give y'all a second to do that. Still missing a couple of people on the video. I don't know what happened to them. You're not supposed to turn them on and off. You're supposed to just leave them on. Okay? All right, I am going to skip a step. I'm going to put brackets, parentheses squared plus 2 times parentheses minus 4 minus brackets x squared plus 2x minus 4 all over h. And x plus h, x plus h. And that's going to give me x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus 2x plus 2h minus 4 minus x squared minus 2x minus plus 4 all over h. And let's see if something cancels. And I know the x squared cancels. The negative 2x cancels. And the positive 4 cancels. I'm going to go ahead and factor out the h. And that's going to leave me with 2x plus h plus 2 all over h. I was telling my son about The Shining and Dr. Sleep, and he didn't, you know, all he knows is animation. And you know, I try to instill in him these movies, but the Tide Pod generation, all y'all know is animation and Marvel Comics. That's all y'all know. So anyway, I try to teach him these movies are tied together, and he didn't know one from. So we watched The Shining, had to watch it twice because he didn't understand it. So we had to watch The Shining twice, and then we watched Dr. Sleep, and he thought it was cool afterwards. I'm like, nobody's going to blame me for my kid being stupid. All right. I don't know why I thought of that, but that's what I did this weekend. Watched 2 Shinings. And y'all have I guarantee you some of have no earthly idea what I'm talking about. Sad. Oh, but we know what Jackass is. Yep. All right. Limit as h approaches 0 of 2x plus h plus 2. And what happens to the h?
It goes away.
So our derivative, f prime of x, is equal to 2x plus 2. So let's go to our calculus. And I'm going to rewrite mine as x squared, put a 1 in front of it, plus 2x to the first power, minus 4x to the 0 power. 2 times 1 is 2, x to the 2 minus 1, plus 1 times 2 is 2, x to the 1 minus 1, minus 0 times 4 is 0, x to the 0 minus 1. And that's going to give me 2x plus 2x to the 0 minus 0. So what can you tell me about any time you have a constant? What is the derivative going to end up being?
It's always going to be 0.
Okay, you need to write that down. Anytime you have a derivative of a constant, the derivative of a constant is always going to be 0, because 0 times that constant is what? 0. So your final answer, f prime of x, is equal to 2x plus 2. Algebra, limit, calculus. Now let's find the equation of the tangent line at x is equal to 2. Let's do that one here and then here. So I'm going to go over here to the next page. Find the equation of the tangent line at x is equal to 2. Find the equation of the tangent line at x is equal to 2 with f prime of x equal to 2x plus 2, and f of x is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 4. All right, I'm going to let y'all do that. And the reason I keep bringing that up is because it's going to be a test question or a homework question. And I don't want you to, like, spaz out when you see it. Two squared is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. So 4 plus 4, 8 minus 4 is 4. So there's our point. We got to have a slope. Slope is equal to slope, or f prime of 2 is equal to 2 times 2 plus 2, which is 4 plus 2, which is 6. So my slope is equal to 6. So now I've got a point and a slope. I use the what? Point slope equation. Y minus, this is x of 1, this is y sub 1. Y minus 4 is equal to 6 times x minus 2. Y minus 4 is equal to 6x minus 12. Bring the 4 across the river. And y is equal to 6x minus what? Minus 8. So the equation of the tangent line on the curve x squared plus 2x minus 4 at 2, the slope is actually, the equation is 6x minus 8. The slope is 6, and the equation is 6x minus 8. Now, what else can we do? Well, we can do equations. Now we're going straight to calculus. I've given you 2 questions making the transition from algebra limit to calculus. I give you the same thing. Now we're going to stick to nothing but calculus. F of x is equal to the square root of x plus 3x squared minus 2x. F of x is equal to 1 over x squared minus 4x to the third plus 5. There's two test questions right there, and they just tell you to find y prime or f prime of x. Again, you just you do each one of them separately. I'm going to rewrite first. F of x, I don't do f prime yet, x to the 1/2 plus 3x squared minus 2x to the first. And I'm going to put a 1 right there. And this one is going to be f of x is equal x to the negative 2
Priority 1 message coming in on secure
minus
channel.
4x to the third plus 5. All right, do those two. Now that I've rewrote them for you, okay? So 1/2 times 1 is 1/2 x to the 1/2 minus 1 plus 2 times 3 x to the 2 minus 1 minus 2 times 1 x to the 1 minus 1. And that's going to give you, I'm just going to write it, and you can write it however you want to, 1/2 x to the negative 1/2 plus 6x to the first minus 2x to the what? 0. Now, I'm going to circle this because I don't have any other room. I don't have more room. But you don't need the 1. You don't need the x to the 0. So you can put the x to the 1/2 on the bottom and make it a square root if you want to. I'm going to put 1 over 2 square root of x plus 6x minus 2. Now that's one way you could write the answer. And a lot of people would want to rationalize the denominator and get the square root of x over 2x plus 6x minus 2. There's another way to write the answer. Okay? And notice that these problems are only 90% algebra. Here's, 90%, well, 10% to 20% calculus. Here's the calculus right here. There's the calculus right there. This, and this is all algebra. So you'll see later on when we get into more challenging problems why people fail calculus. They don't fail it because of this. They fail it because of this. All right? -2 times 1, -2, x to the -2 minus 1. -4 times 3, x to the 3 minus 2, or 1. Plus 0 times 5 times x to the 0 minus 1. And everybody knows that last term, what? 0 times anything, I don't care if you got a million down here, zeros that out. So I'm not going to write the final answer. I'm just going to write a answer. So that'd be -2 x to the -3 minus 12 x to the square. That is a answer. It's not the answer. There'd be, I'm going to write one more. -2 over x cubed minus 12x squared. That looks pretty good. Now, on a scale from 1 to 10, these are like number 1s and number 2s. Okay, because we haven't even got to the second or third rule of derivatives. And right now, I have no idea where I am. I think I'm 3.1 through 3.3. And we're going to stay on that for, at least for the rest of the class. Okay. Now, there are a couple of rules, and I'm just going to, I don't know if I sent you this or not. Rules, you can go here, go to Google, pull up derivative rules, and do an image. And I'm just looking for the basic. That's not the basic. There's the basic right there. Let's go to copy image. Go to my Word document so I can pull it up for you. I don't know. I don't think I sent y'all this. Control V. And let's make it a little bit bigger. There you go. We went over the constant rule. Any derivative of a constant is 0. And here's the power rule. And we went over, I don't know, we didn't cover that, but these are the 2 rules that we've covered so far. Constant and power rule. Product and quotient and chain rule, that's the biggie. Let me go ahead and tell you this right now, because I want y'all to prepare for this test. Okay? 80% of this test, 80% of this test is going to be power rule, product rule, quotient rule, and chain rule. 80% of the test. What's the rest of it going to be, Hubert?
Those were
You're
stuff
going to
you
have
never.
what?
Those 3 big questions.
I'm sorry, what, Mr. Williams, what'd you say?
Those questions about you.
Well, no, yeah, I'm talking about math. Yeah, the bonus questions are going to be on there, yeah. Okay, but I'm talking about just math questions. 80% are going to be those 4 things. 10% algebra / limit. Okay, the ones we just did, you know, getting to the derivative with the algebra limit. And then 10% are going to be on logs. Okay, which I thought y'all covered. Yeah. And implicit. Let me change that to 60, 30. There we go. 60, 30, and 10. There we go. So we just covered the first part of a lot of your tests with the power rule. Okay, and we covered a little bit of this right here. Now let's look at some of the homework questions. I think we're in 3.3 because I think this and this, 3.1 through 3.3, I think. So I'm going to go to 3.3 homework and look. And let's see what we come up with. And my lab's math logged me out. I got to hurry because I want to go over a couple of homework questions at least before y'all start convulsing. Let me save this for y'all. Save as, call it deriv properties. And let me go ahead and send that to y'all. I am so good to y'all. Y'all realize that? I know you do. You better. Let me send this. Derivative properties. And it's loading. And I just sent it. Somebody verify you got it.
I got it.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to the homework. And this is what, 3.3, I think I said. Yeah, that's an easy one. Let me find one that y'all run away from. Okay, there's one. Now this one will get you because y'all will sit there and stare at it for 15 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna write it down. Somebody tell me why y'all stare at it for 15 minutes.
Because of the E.
Exactly. That's, y'all see that E? And it's just like a deer in the headlights. Y'all just, I'm going to show you a trick of learning the war. F of x is equal to 7x to the 6th minus 39x plus e to the 2nd power. Somebody tell me why you should not look at this like a deer in the headlights. What? It's just, you know, what do you need to do with that E?
It's just a number, so it becomes 0.
Good job, Mr. Lowry. Just put a number right here. A number symbol. E is E to the, look, I'm going to go to the handy dandy calculator. 2nd natural log to the 2nd power. E is just a what? It's just a number. So you can rewrite this as 7x to the 6th minus 39x to the 1st plus 7.389x to the 0. Okay, now I want you to do this problem. There you go, do it. 7.389. So f prime of x is equal to 7 times 6 x to the 6 minus 1 minus 39 times 1 x to the 1 minus 1 plus 0 times 7.389 x to the 0 minus 1. And of course, this is a constant, or you can call it a number by itself. Either way, it goes to what? To 0. So your final answer is f prime of x is equal to 42 x to the 5th minus 39 x to the 0, or f prime of x is equal to 42 x to the 5th minus 39. And I guarantee you, one of you or some of you saw that problem, and because of that E, you said subconsciously, ooh, I don't know if I can do that problem. Now, didn't you? And you type it in, 42 x shift up 5 minus 39. And you feel good about yourself. All right, I need to shut her down because some of y'all are going to start convulsing. So, all right, what should you be working on for homework? You should be working on 3.1 through 3.3 homework.